Okay, Kate introduced it very well, so we'll just start. We have about a half hour. We'll go kind of quick. So we thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about some of the more tourist fun stuff at the beginning, and then get into some of the more stuff. So the story starts here, really, in the way that we saw God move. Anybody that knows us knows that for us to leave, our house presents at least 40 problems, and all of the animals that need to be taken care of. And so there's just a great move of the Lord there in sending us. There we go. Sending us helpers from beyond the pond. There's a long story there, but actually Kate Vander Hyden, Sydney and Lily are here with us today, which is really cool. But a very cool story. If you want to hear more about that, it's kind of a longer story. But the Lord made a way for us to go and have our house and our animals well cared for. And they insurmountable odds against Kate Vander Hyden many times. The snowblower for our tractor broke about 3 days before we left, and you guys know what February was like here. We're ever grateful to them and to the Lord for making a way for that. And I'm pretty sure that when we came back, our animals like that more than us.
They might still.
They might still. So travel getting there was a big thing. You can see our luggage there. We had the entire back of our truck. You've all seen our truck. It's rather large. The entire back was full, and the entire inside back was full. So some concerns about how we were going to get that from the truck to the hotel to the airport and actually on the airplane. I was very glad when it was all on the airplane. So it was a long travel, 12 hours of flights, and the kids did very well when we got to Accra. The car to pick us up was delayed 2 hours, so we stayed outside. It was 96, 97, waiting for the car there. And when we finally made it back to our place in Cape Coast, that was about a 5-hour trip in the car, so it was a very, very, very long day. We came back to an apartment full of people to welcome us there, which was, we had a very, very warm welcome. They cooked us a meal and were very kind to us, welcomed us up. We were very happy to get to bed that second day. So we put a few pictures. Put a few pictures of our apartment up here. You can't see much. That picture on the top left for you would be, that was our first day there. So you can see some of our friends there to greet us. And this is just kind of an interesting picture of what God in general looks like. There's these massive gutters along the side of the road that go down probably about this far, if not farther. No cover or anything, so
I asked, do cars go into them? Like, does this happen? And my friend says, oh no, not unless they're drunk. Okay. That's all. So Annabelle has added some animations for all of us. Okay, here we are. So being tourists in Ghana was a lot of fun. We went immediately from exhaustion to being tourists the next day because that was the plan. So this is what we do. We went to Elmina Castle first, which is the oldest castle, the oldest structure built by the Europeans in the sub-Saharan Africa. So south of the Sahara is sub-Saharan Africa. This baby's been standing for over 600 years. It started as a wonderful gold, trading post, and of course ended up becoming a people trading post, which is, evil and not good. So we got to experience all of that. This is inside of one of the dungeons, and out here is just a view from the edge. You could see right down to the water, and while we were there, a huge storm blew up. We thought it was huge. Apparently it wasn't that big, but the trees were like this, your palm trees are like this. Like, is this, are we, we're in a very safe place, obviously, like a structure that's been here for 600 years. But they're like, oh no, sometimes it gets so windy that you have to hang on to the walls to not get blown over. All right, so it wasn't too bad. But to add a fun experience to this, we were hit by a motorcycle on the way home during some heavy rain because it was raining heavily, and it totally destroyed the front of the vehicle. So our first day So yeah, our first day was very interesting. Eli was, a little shaken here, but Jesus is in charge, and so he renewed our strength, and we enjoyed going to the beach the next day, and then following up with some coconuts. The ocean in Ghana wants to take you out into the ocean, so we just did that carefully, didn't we, Daddy? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do better. Okay, touristing in Ghana. This is the second most visited tourist attraction in Ghana. It is only 30 years old. It's called Kakum National Park. These bridges are about 130 feet off of the ground. But amazingly enough, there are mahogany trees and cheche trees that reach another 90 feet above that. So you can actually see there's plenty of trees and foliage above us, but then down below you're able to walk above and just see, basically the jungle from up top, and that was the plan. It came from one American. He had an idea, inspiration. Hey, what if we could see this from the top? And so that inspiration got shifted to 2 Canadians and 6 Ghanaians. And in 6 months, they built Kakum National Park, which has become extremely popular. When we were there, there was 10,000 school children there. It was amazing. So it's an amazing thing that for the Ghanaians that they have, and a good source of income. So also at Kakum National Park, we enjoyed a playground. The kids had some swinging time. This came at the end of the trip, and I'm going to tell you, I don't think Annabelle enjoyed anything until this day, right here. So we had a lot of fun. I'm feeding Josh something that is called a white man's peanut. So
that is his actual name. It does not have another name.
That is its name. It is not said in tree. It's said a little bit different. I don't remember how. But when you translate, it says white man's peanut, and it's this delicious little nut just inside of a big fruit. And you take a rock and you smash off the fruit and get yourself all pink. If you do it wrong. And then inside was a little nut. So I cracked that myself.
That's love.
Isn't that love? Definitely. Is this making sense? Okay. So we went to a local school, and I just wanted to point this verse out here. So, whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart, as working for the Lord and not human masters. So when we went to the school, we were expecting to meet 20 preschool-age children, and so we prepared snacks for 20 preschool-age children. But when we got there, we found an entire school full of children, maybe 300 or 400, which we were not prepared for. So our hearts, got bigger. Every place that we went in Ghana, every place we look back and we kind of like, wow, we really messed that up, or we didn't do that exactly right, or we learned a lot there. This was a learning experience. But we had a lot of fun. They had a lot of fun. The kids were a little overwhelmed. But this is a fun game. So one of the games is called Snatch, and they just got out tables and some empty water bottles, and we just had the most fun trying to see who could steal the water bottle first. Mostly empty. Thank you. Good. Details. But yeah, this was our preschool. They had kids from like 9 months old to 8th grade or so.
8th or 9th grade.
Yeah. At one point, Annabelle disappeared off into a classroom, and Josh was like, "Where did she go?" So she was mobbed by all of the girls going to one classroom, and off she went, whisked away. Okay. Is this all food? Okay, local foods. Sorry, I'm kind of aggressive. A lot of fruit. We did a lot of shakes. Down here, we've got Izzy eating something called kenke, which is fermented corn, and just fermented corn, actually.
It needs something to go with it.
Yeah, I didn't do that one really well. I unwrapped its plantain leaves and set it before us. That was great. It can do a lot of wonderful things. We need to learn a little bit more about cooking, but we tried. Eli was his dream to make orange juice, so he made us some fresh orange juice, some donuts. Oh, and I was supposed to do this, so we could enjoy this in the background. But Izzy's enjoying, fish heads. Fish. Yeah. You say hi to fish. So while he's talking, we have Eli over here with a cocoa bean. So if anybody likes chocolate, this is what it starts out as. And inside here, there's little marshmallowy pieces. And you can suck on that, it's sweet. Kids didn't really like it. Don't eat the fish. And there we go. That was some of our local food experiences. That was me. Okay. We went to a nice restaurant. We didn't do that very often for the same reasons we don't go to nice restaurants here. It's expensive. And we were going to a different one, but we found ourselves at this one. We thank you, Lord. Like, we had plans to go to one place, but we couldn't find it. Google Maps, you know, just not as reliable in Ghana. I don't know why. But we just kept walking. And here we found this one. And we had so much fun. I wanted fufu, and that's why we went out. It's a special dish that I had when I was there in college. Goat fufu specifically, and so I got to enjoy some. I wanted to show you me enjoying it.
Oh, just like I remember. Let's go. Alright, operate the flavors. I'm gonna feed you.
Not the same reaction. Okay.
So food in Ghana is very spicy, like incredibly spicy.
Yeah.
And it's not like Mexican spicy, where it's like spicy in your mouth. It's like spicy, like my lips burn, my hands burn from touching this.
Wow.
Like you got pepper sprayed in the mouth.
Yeah, my hand burned for like 3 hours after this.
Yes, and so
That's
Izzy was not a fan of that. And fufu is one of the staples of the Ghanaian diet, and it was very, very, very hard for us to find fufu. This was also towards the end of our trip, getting some fufu finally.
Next, we met our neighbors, mostly because of some tennis balls. So if you ever go someplace and want to meet kids, bring some tennis balls. It was incredible to get to meet them. Baby Emma, that was where we first met Baby Emma.
Okay, so more of the working, moving part. So we talked about this when we were talking about going. The Missions Training Center, this is one of our bigger focuses over there. So we had to go tour, see what it was actually like. It was really nice to go see it, go actually visualize a space, what it could turn into. It was really nice to go see the roof, kind of see the construction. It's amazing. It's hard for our Western brains to see what in Ghana they can take and make work. So looks pretty rough. Astounding what they can do to it. You know, structurally it's all sound and safe and everything. So hard to look at and see anything really coming together, but it definitely does and happens rather quickly. So it was really nice to see. Yeah, it was really nice to see. Go there, kind of lay out. Okay, well, this is what could actually be done here and all that. So we were able to break down the path forward there. So into a couple different phases. We want to finish the rough electrical, kind of get all the rough stuff done, so that then you can kind of go through it and just coat everything, make it look pretty. So we're looking at rough electrical, and then the roof. It's kind of hard to see in the picture, but there's just an open roof above the upper floor, and there's like no like in our houses there's like the soffit and like a ceiling. There's nothing. It's just like open up there. So actually have to build a structure in order to put a ceiling on the roof. So the ceiling is quite a complicated thing. So part of the kind of the next phase there is to get the electrical roughed in for the whole building, and then get ceilings put on the upper floor. And then the final phase would be to finish the basement. The first floor, kind of a bigger project of finishing. We will probably wait on that project until we have some more concrete plans as to what that's going to be used for. We kind of had intended plans for that, and they might not exactly be what was expected. So some of the challenges that you run into there, same challenges you kind of run into everywhere. but a little bit different here because it's kind of like two pieces of trying to schedule work so that we don't undo work we've already done or cause extra work to be required because of work that we're doing. So say like, finish the basement and then have, or the first floor and then have the whole first floor torn apart to try to finish the upper floor and just kind of to sequence that properly. And then we're still trying to get a more concrete vision for the final product. So before we move too much farther forward, we'd like to have a better laid plan for what exactly is going to happen there so that we don't build something and then have it not exactly fit the scope of work that has become. So interestingly enough, there was a plot of land that was purchased to actually build a center on instead of using an already built building. And we had the opportunity, Annabelle, Eli, and I, to go visit it, and the Lord worked it out that we did not build there. It is in the middle of absolute nowhere. We got lost on the way there. It took us at least an hour to find it on like 2 tracks through the middle of nowhere. So definitely not the right place to build something that's bringing people in to go out. The center here is really close to downtown Cape Coast. It's like centrally located right by a highway. Great location. So it was interesting to see this place. You can see like one thing I want to point out on this. This is actually right here is about halfway through the property, and it's like a cliff as tall as me probably. So this used to be all covered in, I don't know what you want to call this, like scrub brush sort of, African bush sort of stuff. And somebody down the hill, so like over here, started building some sort of site. They're building a bigger complex and needed dirt to make the road. So the way it works there is whoever builds first has to make the road. So I guess what they did was they took all the dirt from up here. And so when they did that, they got rid of all the stuff that was holding all of that dirt there. So it has rained and has washed out the entire thing, and it's a sand with a cliff, and then this goes, and then that's another cliff down to some trees. So unclear who's supposed to fix that or how that's supposed to work, but as of now, it's a nice little sand spot. It had a nice view and everything, but not good for much beyond that. We had a fun opportunity. We really wanted to plant some trees. We thought if we can get some, I don't know, oranges, mangoes, something. I mean, it's tropical, right? Let's get some tropical fruit planted while we're here. And in 10 years, 15 years, we can have some. So it was a lot harder than we would have expected to track down trees. So we were able to get a couple trees and then some bushes and got out and planted them at the center. So that was quite the chore. You can see most of it. Our friend Fred here grew up on a farm, so he thankfully knew what he was doing. Most of the holes were dug. He's using a machete here. They let me use the machete for a little bit. It's harder than one would expect, but nobody got hurt, so that was good. The coolest thing about this was, we planted all these trees, and you can see what it's like. It's 95, and the sun is beating down. Right? These trees have to be watered a lot, right? And so we were worried about that. We were assured that they would be watered, but we were still concerned. The Lord totally blessed the next 4 or 5 days. We had a period in the afternoon where it just poured for like 20 minutes every single day. So the Lord watered our trees for us, even if nobody else did. Yeah, and we had square shovels. It was a job. It was a chore. It was a labor of love, and we were able to do it on Kate and I's anniversary, which is just kind of fun.
So we went to Cape Coast first, and then we had to go back to Accra for some fun and for a surgery for me. So here we are, having fun. Then we took a nice bumpy bus back. One of the fun things that we did was Josh spoke for the first time. Matt baked bread, working unto the Lord. And we found that Pastor Foster was in the middle of a whole series on working for the Lord. And Josh did not know that. And so right in the middle of this guest speaker comes in, and Josh had never spoken before, and he did the entire message on one verse about a guy named Matthias who baked bread for the temple. That was his job, and he was working for the Lord in that, and it was so valued. Huge blessing to us for the message to have gone so well. Josh prepared it 2 months before, didn't practice the night before, delivered it to a totally different atmosphere. And the Lord just really edified his ability to public speak and to spread the word of God in that way. It was so cool. Yeah. The churches there are this church was probably about half this size, and the volume was ear-shattering in any charismatic church. So you would walk in, right? Our first time we walked in, and we were hit with a wall of sound. So the kids wanted you to know that it was very loud in God. Here is just some pictures from the surgery. The verse that I gave here was, "Whoever gives heed to instruction prospers, and blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord." So we were able to do this whole trip on the same cost of having that surgery done. So I got the surgery to not have babies, right? So we took the tubes out there. And I was happy to do it in the States. You know, it was hard. I didn't want to because I love babies and I love having babies. But we felt very much so led to do that. So we tried very hard through very many tears at different places to get the surgery here. But every cost was going to be at least $15,000. And we did the entire Ghana trip for $15,000, including the surgery. So praise God. Like it was totally, we were so blessed. The kids got to swim in pools and amazing things happened because of that obedience. And then we went back. Julie put this in here for you. Earl Dix. He was such a blessing to have that book. Julie and Fred made sure we had that book with us, and it was.
These trips to and from Accra, they're on a highway that's under construction, so it's a 5-hour trip to go. Well, we would probably about 60 miles, and it's like driving on our worst gravel roads. Yeah. If you can imagine that, just bumps, potholes, weaving.
Rough.
Okay, so we'll go a little bit quick. So we put some pictures of just some of our really special friends. This is Eunice. She runs a cleaning business over there. She's become a very close friend. Nana Yao was a close friend. Izzy's probably favorite person there. Joey got along well with him. And then Fred was our driver. This is Izzy driving with him, actually driving. Cars are traffic is much, much different in Ghana. So Izzy enjoyed driving. So it was really special. We were able to leave some sparks with a few of those friends. So Eunice had just gone through some things that had costed her large sums of money. The Lord put on our heart to kind of bless back to her some of what she had lost, and she was able to take that and really get her cleaning business going quite a bit. And my favorite part was she sent us a picture of tithe going back to TRVM, which is our ultimate goal. Like, let's raise people up so that they can support ministries, and then we don't have to support ministries, right? And just kind of bring this full cycle. So that was really cool. That was an awesome picture to get from her. And then now we left in charge of our apartment while we were there, so he's got that on Airbnb, and hopefully can kind of turn that into some stuff for him. Now really has a business mind, so this was kind of like a trial run for us with him to see if maybe he would be a good fit for some of the business ideas that we had seen. But we had to put these in here because when you're on a hardware store or ex-hardware store, you always find some project. I was switching to something, so our air conditioner was leaking on the ground, and so I had the opportunity to do some plumbing. So that was fun. Did you go plumbing anywhere you are on the road?
Yeah, this was just laundry. We washed laundry by hand, and it was a lot of fun. Until we all boys got rashes along every area that they had tight bands, because we apparently didn't wash the detergent out well enough. We also didn't squeeze the laundry that well. So
squeezing was inefficient.
Squeezing was inefficient, so it took 2 days to dry. And so we did that one time, and we sent it out.
It was fun. It's a fun family experience. So, we were able to go to a wedding in Ghana that was very interesting. It was very similar-ish to weddings here in the U.S., but a lot louder, a lot more dancing, a lot more music, all that stuff. Oh, is it on? Oh, yeah. So this is like in the middle of the ceremony, like bride and groom are about to be like married, and just break into this thing. So it was fun. I had the opportunity to pray over the couple, so that was very special for me personally. And, we had to throw these in. I closed the boys' window one day, and a very large bug of some sort crawled out. Turns out it was a gecko, and so we had a friendly gecko pet for a little while as we caught it. Geckos are extremely fast, if you've never done little geckos. Yeah. So this, the Charismatic Word Power Chapel is the church that Eugene is part of, that we kind of partnered with over there. So had the opportunity to speak there a couple times. That was a lot of fun. We put up pictures here of the kids doing kind of their kids things. I love this picture of Joey and Izzy. Izzy's got a whole cracker in his mouth. But it was wonderful to have that opportunity to do that. Kate had an opportunity to speak there. She had some very special people in attendance. I'll let her speak on later, but she had an opportunity to give a word, and it was very special for us to get to share with that church. And the day that Kate was speaking, the people who led the kids' church weren't there, and so it's very loud, like Kate said, it's very loud in the church. So I took the kids out behind just kind of out back into the hallway, and the windows were open. I figured we could stand there and look, but all of the kids followed us out and nobody else. And so I decided I was teaching kids church. And so we improvised and we had fun. And I learned a couple things. One, kids have the same everywhere in the world. You know, they like to have fun. They like people to pay attention to them. And two, I need to relearn all of my old school Bible songs so that I can break those out as needed. I had a couple of them in there, but not.
This is just Thursday night prayer. They have a Thursday night prayer just like we have a Thursday night prayer. So I thought that was pretty special to throw that in. This little thing Eli has is the loudest thing we've ever heard. It is ear-shatteringly loud. I know we talk about loud. It was loud. Ghana was loud. We got to go to Eugene and Judith's home, and Judith cooked for us. It was just such a special time. It was a Sunday that we all enjoyed, just being together and really having some nice family time. Probably just a very special day for us. Oh, we saw Josh on the wall, actually. It was crazy. Eugene had pictures, and there was Josh on his tractor on Eugene's wall. It was so cool.
So the gift out we talked about, this was one of the biggest things that we were really looking forward to going and doing. So a lot of pictures here. I'll go through them kind of quick so we don't run out of time. We kind of set all of the really, really important stuff kind of late in the presentation. So we'll go through them kind of quick, but big job. We really enjoyed it. We were able to put together 30 baskets. One of the things that we really wanted to do was we kind of put the stipulation on. We want to buy as much of this stuff from just local shops, the smallest shops you can find. Let's go buy this stuff from them and give back. And so there's one lady that's in the church who runs a shop. We were able to buy about 90% of the stuff from her. So big job to wrap it all up. The kids did a really good job helping kind of put everything together and make up these baskets. So Eli's got a basket there, Annabelle. So we were on the third floor, so the kids were very helpful in getting all of them out and about and down to the cars. So one of the things special. It was so special to get to go and meet these people where they were and see them and then share a word and pray for them, pray over them. We had, there's no less than 5 or 6 people there to just pray over these people and speak into them and really just try to bless them, not just with the food, but you see, this is actually our neighbors. So there's baby Emma and Valentine, and Altu got his red soccer ball. We'll get to when we kind of talk about the challenges of it, you'll see, but this is how the kids and I got around for the day. They have like these, they're called pragias in Ghana. We would call them a tuk-tuk. here. Interesting enough, they did come from India, like the tuk-tuks we see here. Apparently there was a movie a few years ago that was really big in Ghana. It was an Indian movie. We saw these tuk-tuks, and then everybody wanted one. And so Cape Coast is just flooded with these progenitors. But incredible way to get around. You can get around the whole city for like $1. So a very nice way. But it was just an incredible opportunity to get in and see how people in Ghana, at least in the city, actually live. And you see that the houses are bright and colorful, but concrete. Most of them were just one room. I had the chance just myself to go to somebody who was she was paralyzed in her house. So we were able to go into her house and see her. The house was just barely bigger than a queen mattress. It had room for a little table and like a cook stove sort of a thing. And I counted 6 people living in there. When I was there, who knows how many people were out working. I think most of them were women. So they probably had at least 3 or 4 or 5 men that were there also. So this was such an awesome opportunity to get out and see how people actually live and just the way that we can help. So future plans for the gift out. I'd like to do it more often. It doesn't always have to necessarily be such a big thing. It is such an easy opportunity to get out into places where you couldn't normally go. So Kate will speak on one of the ladies that we met, but say, really heavily Islamic areas, places where you wouldn't really be welcome otherwise. If you're carrying a basket full of food as a gift, anybody's going to welcome you, right? So it's a great way to just kind of get to go wherever you want to go. Just carry food with you and you can kind of walk in. So I'd love to do it more often, monthly, weekly sort of thing, but that would depend on obviously who's doing it and how you're doing it. So some of the challenges is it's hard to get those around, right? We had a full car full. We actually had 2 cars, one with us and some of the baskets, and then one car totally full of baskets, plus the kids and I on one of the tuk-tuk things. So it's not like you just jump in your car or fill it back in your truck and just go do this. It was quite hard. So. Like a van, yeah. There's language barriers. Many of the poorer population doesn't speak very good English. They speak Tree, which is their local language. So definitely, if we were going to do this more often, we would have to brush up on our Tree a little bit. And then obviously the cost of goods, everything. In Ghana, inflation is fairly bad, and the CD keeps falling versus the dollar. So and nothing just goes as far. So.
Salome too is one of the Muslim ladies. She married a Muslim man, and so she kind of found herself in the Muslim culture. And we brought a gift out and prayed with her. She came to church that day that I was speaking, and it's very brave to do that because Ghanaian husbands, Muslim husbands, can be very abusive to their wives if they go to church. So we just pray protection over her every place. Her home won't change. We were able to go out and do local evangelism and pray with some people. There's lots of stories, but we don't have time for them.
Yeah.
And this was a really big connection that we made. This is Dave. This is Julie's friend, Dave, and his wife. And he happened to be in Ghana at the same time we were there. The Lord was holding him at a police checkpoint, and he was terrified at this police checkpoint, but he got our message. He ended up calling us while he was still there, and we were able to connect because he was stopped by a police checkpoint. Otherwise, we never would have met him. And he has been doing small business loans in the Ghanaians for like 20 years, which is what Josh and I want to do, but have no idea how to do. So he is going to be an incredible contact. We'll work with him more.
Okay, so somebody that Dave hooked us up with is this guy in the front here named Eric. He leads the Empowerment Foundation in Ghana. I think Dave's NGO, MRI, Mission Resource, works a lot with Eric, and we had the opportunity to bring Eric in. Part of what they do with their loans is they require that their loan recipients take small business classes from them as they repay their loans. And we thought that would be incredibly helpful for some of the more business-minded people that we met over there. So we were able to put together a training with him at our apartment on the day before we left. Yeah, so timing was just worked out by the Lord. And so brought 6 people together with him and made some really, really good connections. We can see some we can see some really good fruits coming from that.
Bucket bass,
We'll go through this.
our favorite.
This is Joey's favorite.
Joey's favorite.
And Isaiah's favorite.
And Izzy's.
Although, when you give a 2-year-old a bucket full of water that he can't drink, right?
Because of
he can't drink the water, right? It was often interesting. But,
We all had to take antibiotics for dysentery a number of times. But yes, the littlest one definitely started. Belle? Did you like it when you're done?
Yeah. Did it take a long time?
Did it take a long time? Would you do it again?
Oh, good.
Here we go. And just the Canadian people love to give gifts of clothing to show their appreciation, to show their love, and we're wearing them today. We had to leave. Here we are, leaving our apartment in Ghana and going to Accra. We got an extra day in Accra because I had to go back and do a follow-up appointment. So we got to enjoy this beautiful hot pool, and we just click it to the next part. And then we also got to meet William. And William was extremely special for us to meet. He's a Chinese man. He was there for 6 months working for the, basically in raw building materials. But William had known about prayer. We invited him over for dinner. He knew about prayer because he had seen it on Western movies. Right? So he got to, for the first time in his life, pray with a Christian family. And that was just so special to him. And before he left, I asked if he would read a little bit of my Isaiah with me. He didn't really know that we were reading the Bible, but I read a line, and to my surprise, he read it to me as well. So he was like reciting it with me. And after 5 verses, I could tell his heart was so drawn to the words in Isaiah. It was like, come to me all who are weary and heavy laden, and I'm going to be rested. We gave him my Bible, basically. The Bible that my mom and I have shared for generations. Like, she had it for 15 years. I'd wake up and she'd be at the table, marking the Bible up, and then it was mine one day. And so now William has this Bible. It's all marked up with our love, and he said that it was a treasure, that there was nothing more valuable than that Bible. So, hallelujah, right? It was so special. All because of being obedient to the surgery. We had that extra day.
We made it home. Obviously, the trip home was interesting. It was the airplanes were smoother. We had better seat configurations on the way home than there. We were delayed in New York City for about 6 hours. But we were back in the U.S. and we were very happy to be back in the U.S. And on our way home, we finally made it to Chicago at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and then just drove home from there. So it was a long travel days, but we made it. Annabelle with her first American food in a month. She was so happy. And we found, I don't remember what we found, but they had coffee. And in Ghana, they only have instant coffee. And so I was just so happy to drink a cup of coffee again. It's instant coffee is coffee, but it's just not at the same time. Well, we were able to, I just put a few pictures out here. It's been so fun to meet with the kids and dress up and ride some bands and all that stuff. And this picture in the middle is probably the biggest life change we've seen since we came there. The store is sold. That's our last picture as owners of the store. And so we are so looking forward to moving into the next season that the Lord has for us. And so with your future plans I hear, because we know that's what a lot of us are worried about. So we do plan on going back in February again. We'll make some more concrete plans as we get closer to that. I look forward to maybe Dave sent us a message a few days ago saying that he was headed to Ghana and asked if there was anything that he could bring for us. And we said, yes, you could bring me. I would love the opportunity to just follow him around and see what he's doing there. His heart is so closely matched to ours, and he's been successful doing it for 20 years. Like, would you let me just come and just follow you around and see what you do? So I'm hoping for the opportunity. He's going back at an earlier time frame than we could make work, but I look forward to hopefully getting back there with him sometime and just kind of seeing what he's doing. And then maybe some shorter trips in there. Kate and I talked about taking a few trips ourselves, but Joey asks us probably every other day when we get to go back to Ghana, so I think we'll probably all be going as family. So work for the ministry. Eugene and Eve, you guys, some of you met Eve. We're sending them back to Indonesia in September. we're hoping to start phase 2 of the Mission Center this summer here. Kind of see how all that goes. We were able to reconnect with a boy. Well, he's a man now, but Emmanuel is a boy that Kate sponsored through Compassion years ago, and kind of has on and off connections there. We just reconnected with him in the past week, and we're working on hopefully doing some education for him, kind of helping him move into the next step of his life. And then one of the ladies that she's a pastor of she's a wife of the pastor at the church that we were part of there. Her oven broke, and so we've been kind of praying about how to help her with that. And she's been interested in possibly taking a loan through the Empower Foundation, through Eric, through that meeting that we had there, kind of a loan funded by me, so it's that kind of flows through to her, let them do the logistics part. And so that's been exciting to kind of see if that could work, because that would be a way for us to get our ministry heart going without having to figure out all the logistics of how actually to do it, but the people who know how to do it. And that's our story. Thank